All right, good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of January 14th, 2020. Ms. Barak, please call the roll.
Committeeman Delcourt.
Here.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Here.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lapani.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Administrator Pereira.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here. It's everybody. Right, okay. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, that notice of this meeting was made by the posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on January 14th, 2020. We do not have any approval of minutes at this time, so we're going to move on to committee reports from committee liaisons. So first up, Committeeman Delcourt.
Mayor, just for the record, Attorney Bernstein is also here.
Welcome. Thank you. I thought it was Attorney Willard. I thought it was Attorney Willard.
Nobody wants to do that. Good evening, everyone. So a couple items. It's the beginning of the year, so most of our boards and commissions are having their reorganization meetings as well. I attended several of those. We'll talk about that in a sec, but just wanted to provide an update quickly from the health department. I know we got a couple of representatives from our health department here with us today. But local health departments throughout Somerset County have designated January as Radon Action Month in cooperation with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection as part of their radon program. So radon is a colorless, odorless gas formed in the breakdown of uranium and radon in rocks and soil. It can build up in homes, and at a certain level and length of exposure, it can be a cause of lung cancer. So the Hillsborough Health Department will continue to distribute free radon test kits to residents on a first-come, first-served basis. Only one kit per residence will be distributed. Instructions are included, and results will come to the resident only, not the health department. There'll be additional information in Friday's e-news and the township website for more information. In addition, we're going to have our annual free rabies clinic. That'll be January 25th. I believe that's a Saturday, correct?
Yes.
From 10 a.m. to noon. We'll have that clinic at the Department of Public Works facility, which is located at 21 East Mountain Road. If you're bringing your dog, please make sure the dog is leashed, and if aggressive, please have a muzzle on it. And cats must be transported in secure carriers, or we may have to turn you away. I apologize. So always be prepared also to pick up after your pet in case something happens while they're there. Dr. Charles Schwark of Sarah Lawrence Pet Health has volunteered his time to help us vaccinate our pets. So it is a really nice service if you want to get that rabies shot. It takes just a couple minutes, and we move them through pretty quickly. So again, 10 to 12 on January the 25th. So in some other board and commission news, I was part of the Open Space Advisory Committee reorg meeting, as I'm liaison to that group. I'd like to congratulate Chicky Haynes as the chair of that committee and Greg Hausen as the vice chair. Also for the Recreation Commission, they had their reorg meeting last week as well. Ron Scobo will be the chair for this year. Rob Peason is the vice chair, and Bob Hollingshead is the secretary. And as it relates to recreation, before we move on from that topic, we're currently taking registrations for our co-ed spring soccer. For boys and girls ages 3 through grade 12. So the games are held on Saturdays at various soccer fields in town. And new this season, teams will have the opportunity to sign up for an opportunity to play and or practice at the new Apex turf fields, which we expect will be starting to use in early March of this year. So we're really looking forward to the opportunity to start to use those fields for some of our rec programs. In addition, we're also taking registrations for our girls softball league. Registrations from now until March 13th. That's the deadline. There's no experience needed, and it's open from girls of all age from kindergarten through 8th grade. So come on out and join us. Additional information is available on the Parks and Rec website for more detail on our soccer and or softball programs. And if you have a child that's playing in those leagues, we certainly welcome any parents that would like to volunteer their time to be a coach. We're always looking for coaches in those programs as we have our students move on or the players move on. We're always trying to recycle, bring some new coaches through. So anyone that would like to, please reach out to the Recreation Office as well. Finally, just a couple other reorg notices. The Sustainable Steering Committee, I was joined by that at that meeting with Committeewoman Holmes. So we kicked that off, and Dr. Chris Abrupta is going to be the chair, Sam Connard is the vice chair, and Ann Harris is the secretary. And finally, Deputy Mayor, you going to talk about planning? Okay. So we'll talk about planning. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Committeeman. Committeewoman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. As the mayor mentioned, as Committeeman Delcor mentioned, I attended the Sustainable Reorganization. I'm also a liaison to Parks and Recreation and the liaison to Health, which I attended. I want to say congratulations to Dr. Schwark, the chair, Bill Potter, vice chair, and Siobhan Spano, the secretary. I also attended the Hillsborough Millstone Municipal Alliance Reorganization. Gil Pilarde is the chair, Pamela Bork is the vice chair, Minda Maglio is the treasurer, and Jean Trujillo is the secretary. So congratulations to all of them, and it's a great alliance, and they work very hard to put programs in our schools to help educate children on drug abuse and alcoholism, and it's wonderful. One last thing, farmers meet and greet. We're having that. There will be a farmers meet and greet on Saturday, February 1st from 1 to 4 p.m. in program rooms A and B in the library. They will also all have items for sale. I've been to this before. It's really a lot of fun. They have honey, all kinds of fun stuff to buy. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman. Committeewoman McCauley.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple things from me tonight. I just wanted to remind everyone from the police department that there was a little snow coming this weekend, and we all seem to forget to brush our cars off. I did say at the last meeting, but since there's a little snow coming, it's a good reminder that you should brush off the vehicle's hood, windows, and roofs before driving, because technically it is against the law. And it's the Township Code, Chapter 143-21. So please follow those rules and regulations. You would be subject to summonses and potential of being towed at the owner's expenses if you do park on snow-covered roads. So please keep that in mind when the inclement weather comes in. Also, for public safety, the Fire District Annual Election will be held on Saturday, February 15th from 2 to 9 p.m. here in the multi-purpose room. If you're not currently registered to vote, the deadline to register would be January 25th in this election, as per state statute. So again, it's February 15th from 2 to 9 p.m. And if you're not registered yet, you have a deadline of January 25th. And just going off of the dog license renewals from Finance, they have been mailed. So if you had your pets registered already, they have been mailed to your homes accordingly. So pet owners are reminded that your rabies shots must be valid through October of the licensing year. It doesn't run from December to December or January to January. It is October. So please be sure that licenses renewed after March 1st may incur a $5 late fee if you don't pay it accordingly to the date. So you should be getting that in the mail. So please pay attention to that. And that's it for me this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor LaPenny.
Thank you, Mayor. As Mayor Delcor said, or Committeeman Delcor, we should get that mayor out there. It's twice from this side. I'm happy to report that the chair is Carl Sirachi and the vice chair is Neil Julian, and Ken Hastag is the secretary. From the Credit Card Advisory, Maria Volio is the chair and Barbara Merger is secretary. Just a reminder that this Affinity Credit Union is the sponsor of this program. They donate parts of their proceeds to fund a lot of the monies that we give away here throughout the year to our soccer teams and lacrosse leagues and our seniors. And it's not they're taking money from you, they're actually giving it out. So I would really encourage you to look at the Affinity Credit Union card. You get all the bonus and points that you would normally get in any other card, but that they do donate to all of you and your causes. So I would suggest that you, or encourage you to look at that. For the EDBC, Chuck Ruggieri is the chair, Ken Hastag is the vice chair, and Antoinette Natali will be the secretary. Though we didn't feel like it this past weekend, the building department is reminding us that it's still winter. Even though it was 60 degrees, we are getting colder. To winterize your home, to prevent your pipes from bursting and insulate your crawl spaces. And if you're planning to leave for an extended period of time, don't shut your heat off completely. With that regard, so the engineering department, I'd like to remind you that with the rainy, wet conditions and the winter time, some pump discharges, though they understand that it's necessary, but it may become necessary for them to recommend that you redirect them away from the streets because of freezing. If your sump pump is directly put out to the street, you're allowed to allow it to freeze within the curb area, which is 3 feet. And they would ask if there's any issues of that flooding the street, that you correct that. Older sump pumps that have been grandfathered in, again, are permitted to have that, but please be vigilant as to not create an unsafe condition in your neighborhood. And lastly, just a traffic advisory, there will be a road closure from January 20th to 24th. The New Ammo Road will be closed between Lynn Court and Cumberland Court for utility work. Please follow the posted detour and allow extra time while traveling through the area in that alternate route. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. A couple things from me this evening. First, congratulations to Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Company Number 1 of Flagtown on their recent annual installation dinner. I was joined by Committeewoman Holmes at the event, where I had the honor of administrating the oath of office to their new officers, and congratulations to their new chief, Tommy Lachowski. We look forward to working with him for the next 2 years. Also want to congratulate Gigi's Playhouse. They had their 5th anniversary celebration this past Saturday. For those of you who don't know, Gigi's is a place that sort of fosters education for individuals with Down syndrome. Most nonprofits never make it to 5 years, so it is an incredible testament to all the people that work very hard over at Gigi's for them to make it to this 5th year mark. So I was glad I could stop by and say hello to everyone who works there. Also, we have coming up Hillsborough High School boys and girls basketball teams in collaboration with the Somerset Visions and Pathways present a Hillsborough Community Day on January 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Hillsborough High School. Community Day is an opportunity for Hillsborough to come together for a day filled with community spirit while showcasing our high school basketball teams. The event will include boys and girls high school basketball games, a 50-50 drawing, concessions, and halftime performances. Local businesses will also have booths set up. Admission is free, and later in the evening there will be a dinner catered by Moe's Southwest Grill from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the high school commons. The dinner will benefit the boys and girls basketball programs at Vision Pathways. Tickets for the dinner are just $10, and they're on sale now by contacting Coach Callens at scallens, that's Kallens at htps.us, or Coach Progrin at iprogin at htps.us as well, and we'll put that into the e-news. We will also be hosting a blood drive here in conjunction with Robert Wood Johnson on Friday, February 7th from noon until 5. You can check out our Friday e-news for details on how to register for that. Also, I want to announce a save the date for the Hillsborough Business Association Spring Networking Event. That's going to be on March 26th. We're going to put more details out about that as well. And as always, you can stay connected with all of our events and more via the Friday e-news and Twitter. TV 29 and the Hillsborough YouTube channel showcase our meetings and Hillsborough The Good Life episodes and Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. At this time, we're going to move on to proclamations. We ask that once you receive your proclamation, please return to your seat. We will pause after all the recognitions to allow for your departure. And at this time, I'm going to ask that John Fiedler come up. John, and your family.
Big clan.
You don't mess around.
It's our whole.
They're all getting taller than
If they start singing, I'm gonna be like,
Okay. John Fiedler began as an employee of the Hillsborough Township Building Department in 1999 and has been in his current position as construction official since 2005. Was recently awarded the Vincent Ozzie Pacelli Award as Person of the Year for 2019. John was nominated for his selfless dedication to the New Jersey Building Officials Association and to code enforcement. Throughout his career, John has been an active member of the New Jersey Building Officials Association since 2001 and has served as Director at Large, Secretary, the current Second Vice President, and Chairman of the Association's Ethics Committee. He continues to serve on the Good and Welfare, Regional Chapters, Education, and Program Committees. In 2013 and 2014, John received the President's Award in appreciation for outstanding and dedicated service and won the 2019 Construction Official of the Year by the Municipal Construction Officials Organization. The Hillsborough Township Committee recognizes and congratulates John for his outstanding service in the Building Department and for being awarded the Vincent Ozzie Pacelli Award. Congratulations, John.
Mayor Thompson, thank you very much, and as always, thank you for the support of Hillsborough Township and absolutely the support of my family who's here today. These career accolades can never happen without the support of your family and your employer, and I'm very fortunate to be employed here. I just started my 15th year now and have great support by both. This is a great place to work. I have a great family to support me with this, and it's hard to believe, looking back in 2005, standing up here, getting sworn in for the first time, and seeing how small my kids were back then, and how much the family has grown. And it is an absolute pleasure to serve this community and work for this township committee. And thank you again very much.
Congratulations, John.
Good job, thank you.
All right, next up is Rod here.
Right in front.
Come on up. So Rod's actually getting two awards tonight, so proclamations. So Rod Hirsch, founder and executive director of Operation Shoebox New Jersey since February 2005, was honored by the Boy Scouts of America Patriots Path Council at their Toast to Scouting Awards dinner on November 21st, 2019. This award recognizes recipients for their community service and for their embodiment of the values of the century-old Scout Oath and law in the personal and professional lives. Operation Shoebox New Jersey is a broad-based volunteer organization that solicits donations and financial support from the community to help send personal care packages to U.S. troops deployed around the world. Rod participated in the scouting program in his youth and earned his Eagle Scout badge in 1970. The mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee congratulates Rod for the honor bestowed upon him by the Boy Scouts of America. Congratulations. Rod is also the owner and editor of Tap Into It Hillsborough and Tap Into It Somerville, founder and executive director of the Operation Shoebox New Jersey, and an assistant professor of journalism at Rider University, was awarded the New Jersey Municipal Management Association's 2019 Press Award. This award is given to members of the Press Corps for their objectivity, consistency, and commitment to factual government reporting. Tap Into It has become a reliable source for local news, sharing critical news to the public during emergency situations, covering high-profile township events, and providing consistent and objective reporting. Rod is a graduate of now an assistant professor at Rider University. He was a former executive editor of the Reporter newspaper and spent 30 years at the Home News Tribune as a reporter, news editor, and assistant managing editor. The mayor and Hillsborough Township Committee values the collaborative relationship with Rod, which has led to trust, confidence through sharing news and current events, and congratulates Rod for being awarded the New Jersey Municipal Management Association's 2018 Press Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Today was a busy day, typical in terms of news coverage. I was over in Bound Brook covering a press conference where they announced the arrest of an arsonist who had destroyed those 2 apartment buildings on Main Street on Sunday. Before going over there, I started working on a story about Jack Chitterelli. Everybody knows Jack. And Jack announced, he announced today that he's going to announce on January 21st that he's going to run for governor again. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And in between that, I was doing a lot of stuff for Operation Shoebox, New Jersey. We're holding our 15th anniversary dinner on February 29th out at Trump's National Golf Course. It's going to be a big to-do. And then I'm working on my syllabuses for school, which starts on January 27th. So every once in a while I get to see my wife, reintroduce myself, and that kind of thing. But I really enjoy what I do. That's why I do it. And covering this town it's a great experience. It's a wonderful town, great people, great organizations, a lot of growth ahead. And I love working with everybody here. And for what it's worth, I need citizen journalists. I'm only as good as the information that's provided to me. So that's everybody. You got something, please give me a call, and we'll try and get it out on our website. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
Story about yourself.
Self-promotion.
I know Neil's not here, but. Neil Van Cleef, founder of Van Cleef Engineering Associates, was honored by the Boy Scouts of America Patriots Path Council at their Toast to Scouting award dinner on November 21st, 2019. This award recognizes recipients for their community service, as evidenced by the leadership and interest within the community, and for their embodiment of the values of the century-old Scout oath and law in their personal and professional lives. Neil founded the Van Cleef Engineering Associates in 1972 and has grown to 12 offices throughout New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware, with more than 190 employees, and has been ranked as one of the top engineering firms in New Jersey. He was also served as a director of the Mid-Atlantic chapter of AAA and on the boards of Team Capital and Montgomery National Bank. Neil has supported many local organizations, including the Boy Scouts, the Adult Daycare Centers, the Steeplechase Medical Center, Hillsborough Raiders, Huddern Medical Center, Raritan Recreation, Raritan Valley Community College, the Resource Center of Somerset, Somerset County 4-H Association, the Rotary Club of Hillsborough, Project Graduation, and the Hillsborough Baseball League. The mayor and the Hillsborough Township Committee congratulated Neil for the honor bestowed upon him by the Boy Scouts of America. Congratulations. Cindy's going to say a couple words.
Hi. Good, excellent. I'm Cindy Norfleet. I'm Neil's daughter. I'm joined here by Mike Ford. We're both partners in Van Cleef Engineering. Neil could not be here today. He's taking a brief vacation in Florida, which he does not often do, but we always encourage him to go. Anyone who knows Neil knows that Neil is a man of few words, and I follow in that tradition. I know that if he were here tonight, he would say he's the luckiest man in the world to have grown up in Hillsborough and been part of Hillsborough and to give back to organizations like the Boy Scouts. And Mike is here because he is an integral part of the Boy Scouts in this area. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, Frank, would you mind coming down?
Your banner.
Frank Delcor, Hillsborough Township Committee member and 2019 mayor, was honored by the Boy Scouts of America Patriots Path Council at the Toast of Scouting Award dinner on November 21st, 2019. This award recognizes recipients for their community service as evidenced by their leadership and interest within the community and for the embodiment of the values of the century-old Scout oath and law in their personal and professional lives. Frank is a 5-time mayor of Hillsborough Township and has been a member of the Hillsborough Township Committee for the past 12 years. He has also served on numerous local boards and commissions, including the Hillsborough Township Planning Board, Parks and Rec Commission, Sustainable Hillsborough, and the Open Space Committee, just to name a couple. He is the corporate real estate and finance professional, having served in several senior leadership roles within the telecommunications and banking industries. And the Hillsborough Township Committee recognizes and congratulates Frank for his outstanding service as 2019 mayor and for being honored by the Boy Scouts of America for his dedicated service in profession and community. Congratulations.
I'm not used to talking about proclamations. It's been a while. I am much more comfortable on the giving end of these proclamations than I am on the receiving. It is really special to be recognized by the Boy Scouts because of the work that they do and the type of organization that they are, the tremendous impact that they have on the community, but just as importantly, the evening that we had this ceremony, to be able to be recognized with people like Rod and Neil Van Cleef is very special to me because they are stalwarts in the community and people that I know the entire community respects, and to be able to be recognized at a time when that entire slate of honorees is recognized meant quite a bit to me. So I thank you for recognizing this tonight, and I'd much rather be on the giving end, but thank you very much for that.
Okay, we're going to pause for a brief couple-minute break just to reset. So thank you, everyone, for attending. You're more than welcome to stick around, but if not, we appreciate you coming and have a great night. Thank you. This time we're going to move on to new business. There is no new business, so we're going to move on to public comment on new business and matters not on the agenda. Do you have any comments for matters not on the agenda? Please come forward and state your name.
Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner of Block 86, Lot 3, 2155 Champlain Road, together with my husband Walter Janusik. I have questions regarding the municipal court. It's a shared court, Montgomery, Hillsborough with Montgomery Township and Manville.
Just as a reminder, this is public comment.
Okay,
It's comments, not just questions, it's comments.
okay.
So if you have any comments about the courts, we're more than willing to entertain them.
I had heard some information regarding the Manville Municipal Court at one of the Manville Borough Mayor and Council meetings. So I came by to get some information from Susan Keith, the Municipal Court Administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that there's no information provided as to the date when the Manville Municipal Court is in session and the hours, and there's no information on the Montgomery Court as to the date and the hours. So I had asked for some kind of written information, and it took a while to get something off the internet, which was not very helpful. And and the paper that I was given showed only the court code for Hillsborough and not for the other two courts. So where is the information for the Manville Borough Municipal Court as to the date that the court is in session and the hours for that court?
We'll be happy to look into that. Thank you.
Okay, so nobody knows.
No, I didn't say that. We'll be happy to look into it. Thank you.
And when will I get a response?
I'm sure we have your contact information. I know we've contacted you before, and you've contacted us, so we'll be able to provide you that.
Well, no one has really contacted me other than when I submitted a request for government records through the Open Public Records Act. I then get a response to the Oprah, but when I...
I will make sure we send you an email with what you asked.
When I've presented questions here and I've been told that someone will get back to me, they don't. So I would
Administrator
request-
Ferrera, would you mind emailing
More
Ms.
than happy.
Janasek?
We'll make sure Susan Keith gets the information to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. I had also requested through the Open Public Records Act, a copy of the minutes, Hillsborough Township minutes for August 13, 2019. And in these minutes, it shows ordinance 2019-12, ordinance of the Township Committee regarding the long-term tax abatement to Concord Street Urban Renewal Associates. Because I had also submitted a request for a copy of the property record card for Block 86, Lot 21.01, and Block 86, Lot 21.02, because Block 86, Lot 21 was supposed to be subdivided so that Concord could build low and moderate income housing on there. But in reading this ordinance, well, first of all, the response I got to my Oprah was that no such parcel exists. So I don't know if Block 86, Lot 21 has been subdivided yet. But also, it shows here, Block 86, Lot 21 is owned by Hillsborough Township, as far as I know. Has that been sold to Concord?
I'm almost positive we had the same conversation at the December meeting, but I will ask.
Well, because-
Hold on, no. We've been through this a couple times, that I'm allowed to speak after we let you speak, then allow me to say a couple things too. So I'm going to turn it over to our attorney, and he can answer your questions. Has it been?
Not formally.
Not formally. Perfect. Thank you.
What is that, not formally? It hasn't been sold.
Not formally.
Okay. Why I ask is because I am the owner of Block 86, Lot 3, which directly adjoins Block 86, Lot 21, and that is going to be a huge negative impact on my property. So I'm very focused on getting information. I attended the public hearings. The public hearing was for the purpose of subdividing Block 86, Lot 21. And so far, that hasn't been done. Another issue is that Block 86, Lot 21 is zoned I-1 light industrial. And so how can you put housing?
You're not really going to ask that question.
We've had this conversation.
I would advise the committee not to answer this.
And so again, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? You had hearings, you had public hearings stating that those things were going to be done, and they haven't been done. So as I said, I'm very focused on this because this
And I
impacts
appreciate
my
that.
property. And so I will continue to ask until I see that those things have been done. So according to records that I have right now, they haven't. The property hasn't been sold, but the other question is, how did Concord Street
Again, public
Urban
comment.
Renewal, how did they get a 30-year long-term tax abatement if they don't own the property?
Any other comments?
That's not a comment, that's a question.
No, I'm aware. Do you have any other comments?
No, because I'm asking for an answer to my question.
Okay, again, this is public comment. This has been covered numerous times with you. We've been going over this. I can't even count how many times we've gone over the same exact conversation with you. So do you have any other comments at this time?
When I was here last time, I was told to comment, and I had asked, am I allowed to ask questions?
Well, you can ask any questions you want.
And the answer was yes.
Yes, you can ask
Yes.
questions.
So
I'm
what
saying,
So what you're saying to me is I can ask a question, but you won't answer it.
no, I didn't say that. I said we don't have to answer it. You can ask any questions you'd like.
Right. I'm hearing what you're saying. You don't have to answer it. So you're saying you're not going to answer that question?
We've answered this question numerous times.
No.
Yes, we have. And Ms. Janasek, we've answered this question numerous times for you. I've sat right there during all last year. We've answered this numerous times. I know you've asked questions similar to this at planning board hearings. You're going to continue to ask at every single meeting, I would imagine. So there's nothing going to change at this time. So you can ask again. We could just keep doing this. We've been very accommodating to you.
All right, so you're saying that I asked the question, how can Concord Street Urban Renewal get a 30-year long-term tax abatement when they're not the owner of the property, and you have answered that question?
I know that you asked a question extremely similar to that at a meeting, if not the last meeting, 2 meetings before that, okay?
And so was an answer given to that?
I believe so.
and this is what happens. I believe so, and you'll spend 20 minutes telling me we already answered it, where it would have been so much simpler to say, yes, it's been sold, or yes, this is why they, it would be so much simpler, but I always get the same response. We've told you 20 times, we're not going to sit with this, that, instead of just giving me an answer. If my memory,
Mayor, may I?
maybe I'm having senior moments and don't remember these things. So
Maria,
what is the
Mayor, if I
answer?
may, I just want to
Please.
comment quickly. In the past, you have asked these questions, and we understand you're looking for information.
Yes.
But we have explained there's a process. Clearly, affordable housing is a much different process than a regular one. And there's negotiations, and there's contracts, and there's things that need to be signed, and there's a process. And we're not going to sit here on the dais, most likely, and discuss every step we take, because we have attorneys and other, moving parts involved. So we understand that you're looking for information. There is no information at this time, except for the fact that it's, as the attorney stated, it's not formally in writing yet. So we are still in process of that, and there is no comment to be made further on it at this time.
So I understand. Let me reiterate so that we all on understanding the same thing. Attorney Bernstein stated that that property has not yet been sold by Hillsborough Township to Concord Street Urban Renewal Associates. As of today, that property has not been sold to them.
That wasn't the question you asked. The question you asked was, has it been subdivided? That was the question you asked about 3 minutes ago.
No.
And the answer, yes, Mrs.
No.
Janusik, yes, that was exactly the question, and the answer was not formally. As to what other question you've asked, which you've had answered before, is that Concord Urban Renewal has been designated by the township as a redeveloper pursuant to the law, and that's how they are involved in the property in question, including the related matters. Nothing has changed. The answers don't get any different. You just don't like the answers.
And may I add one, Mr. Mayor, if I may? Because I'll tell you how we answered it, Ms. Janusik, because you say you didn't get an answer, but you did. Because you asked this exact same question about Concord and why, how do we give them an abatement when they don't own the property yet? And we went through the process of explaining that they are in the middle of trying to get tax credits as part of their funding mechanism to ultimately develop the property. And until that matter gets situated, the property can't be sold and the property can't be developed. So that's all in process as we speak. So you were given that exact answer the last time you asked this question. So please, stop playing games with this process.
Okay, I am not playing games. As I said, this impacts my property.
I understand.
So I ask.
But that was the
So-
exact answer I gave you the last time as well.
Okay, so the answer was it hasn't been done yet. They're in the process of getting this. So I will come again and ask, has that process been fulfilled, and are they now the owners? I will ask that again because right now that's where it stands. They are not the owners yet. It's still in process. So I will come again and I will ask again, has that process been fulfilled, so I can know each step what's being done. So it's not to harass anyone. I'm just asking. I'm getting the same answer. It hasn't been done yet. Fine, thank you. And I will come again and I will ask the same question to see if that process has been fulfilled.
And you're aware you can also follow up with the professionals at the township. You don't have to come to a township meeting every time.
You can send us an email, we can let you know.
They can notify you also.
Okay, if someone will notify me, then I won't have to come. You're right.
Send us an
You're
email,
right.
and we'll be happy to tell you if the process will move
If
forward.
you will notify me, because I'm saying my property
No,
is
I just want to be clear. I don't want to say we're going to,
Excuse me.
but I don't want to get on the record of
No,
you
no,
saying
no.
we're going to
You see,
notify
when
you.
I'm talking, you
I don't want to go on
interrupt.
record saying we're
I stand here
notifying
and
you.
And I wait, and I would request the same courtesy. I'm saying, when this process is done, and you are aware that this is very important to me, then I would appreciate being notified. If not, then I will have to come here to know how each step is progressing.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Any other comments not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none, we're going to move on to public hearings, or introduction of new ordinances. 2021 is an ordinance to amend and revise and supplement ordinance number 2019-20, the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, entitled an ordinance amending Chapter 188, Land Use and Development, Article 5, District Standards, Section 188-106, comma, I-1, I-2, I-3 light industrial districts by amending yard and bulk requirements within ordinance number 2019-20 as per the Township Code of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey. Further consideration and public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2020. The proposed ordinance would amend ordinance 2019-20, which created a multifamily inclusionary overlay district within the I-3 zone encompassing lot 105 and Block 58 at the terminus of Campus Drive. The proposal of this amendment is to insert a minimum setback standard of 50 feet from the track boundary. The original ordinance lacked any such requirement. Please note that the setback requirement does not supersede or replace any other applicable buffer requirements. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? Please come up and state your name for the record.
Maria Janusik. This is ordinance 2020-01.
Yes.
Okay. According to what's written here, it says, whereas pursuant to a decision of the Honorable Thomas C. Miller, dated December 6, 2019, as to Campus Associates. So this was in litigation?
Yes.
Yes.
And so what was the issue, since you're revising Hillsborough's ordinances, what was the litigation? What was this about?
As Attorney Bernstein was in the meeting, I'm going to allow you to speak to that if you don't mind.
Actually, Ms. Janusik, I believe you asked that same question when we introduced the original ordinance in December and when we adopted it. This is part of the rezoning, this is part of the zoning requirements with our agreement between the Township and Campus Associates regarding their affordable housing obligation. When the ordinance was introduced, subsequent to the ordinance being introduced, there appeared to have been an error relative to an item on a setback. The ordinance was ultimately adopted after the developer went to court because the township had not introduced the ordinance in what they considered a timely fashion. His Honor granted the powers to allow the introduction and adoption of the ordinance, and now is requiring the township to make the final correction on the ordinance, which is the setback issue, which is being introduced tonight for purposes of adoption, hopefully in February, pursuant to His Honor's order.
So you had mentioned, what is it that there's, because this is a light industrial district, are we talking about the I-3 light industrial district?
We're talking about the property on Campus Drive and no other property in the township.
But that property was zoned I-3 light industrial?
That property is currently zoned I-3 light industrial.
It's still currently zoned that?
Once this is adopted, it will be zoned for that property, for the development of the property for residential purposes.
So right now, currently, the Campus Drive property is, what are the lot and block numbers? Do you have that available?
No, I don't. I believe it's actually on the, it may be in the ordinance. I don't have the ordinance in front of me.
Lot 105 and Block 58.
Thank you.
105, Block 68?
1.05, Block 58, 58.
58.
Yep.
Okay. What is the size, do you have the size of that property by any chance?
I don't remember that off the top of my head. I don't, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that was zoned I-3 light industrial, and now there's going to be residential.
There is a potential to develop for residential with an affordable housing component in it.
Still
You're
has to
saying
go to the
potential, I don't
planning board.
understand what that means, potential.
The zoning, once this is adopted, will allow for the building of a project on the site, subject to an approval by the planning board of such a development application, which has not yet come before the planning board.
Is this where you're putting in, what is that called, inclusionary, what was the name of that?
This is one of the township's affordable housing sites.
So this is being, this zoning is being changed to allow the affordable housing to be built on this property.
A mixed-use development, both market rate and affordable.
And what is the name?
It's actually already been adopted.
Yeah.
This is just simply one minor amendment. All the changes, the change to allow for the affordable unit is was already processed by this board and by the planning board. This is to change solely the setback. That's the only change we're making. Everything else has been approved, and you were in the meetings when we approved it.
You were here with your daughter, sitting in the back.
Okay, I came to meetings in regard to Block 86, Lot 21. So was this part of that?
No,
No.
but you were here for the night, those nights, when you came up to talk about Block 86, you also came up and talked about this property because it had the magic word light industrial in it.
If you recall, we had a bunch of people that lived over on Johansson and all the people on the border of the whole room was full of a bunch of people, and you were one of them in the back corner, right back over there.
Thank you. I'm very impressed that
So-
everyone remembers.
Well,
where I sit at the
well, we know
table.
when you come in, because you tend to talk more than everybody else, so, you know, you make a,
Okay.
what I'm saying, so this, as to what the counselor said, the amendment, the ordinance was approved, but the original ordinance had omitted this particular part of it by error, so we had to approve the ordinance as per Judge Miller, and then amend the ordinance as we're doing now to allow that setback, and then still has to allow, the application still has to go before the planning board, which we said back then, and go through all the approvals, if approved, at that time. All this is just allowing for an application be put through the planning board. That's all it is.
So the litigation was in regard to this setback, or was there litigation for other items?
It was the whole application.
That specific litigation were related to the proposed agreement between the developer and the township.
You're talking about this
Yes,
litigation?
yes.
For this setback?
It wasn't just for the
It wasn't
setback.
just for the setback, it was for the entire development agreement, for the agreement to settle their status as an intervener in the litigation.
So this litigation is over and done?
This part of this litigation is potentially over and done, A, assuming that the governing body approves this ordinance, and B, depending on where the application for development goes before the planning board.
What is the name of, because there was an amendment, and it included, what is the, and no one wants to answer, and I know it's
Well, you didn't ask the question yet, I'm listening.
Multi-something inclusionary zone, is that what, is that how the housing?
Inclusionary is
going to be?
just another word for affordable housing.
Okay, but there's something, there was an amendment to this zone to allow that housing. What's the name of that, what's being added to allow
I'm not sure what you're
housing?
referencing.
What?
I'm not sure what you're referencing.
Okay, all right, I'll find that.
Okay.
Because I know, and I think you had mentioned, when you were speaking about this before I came up, you did mention something about it. Okay, so there would be, via Oprah, I could get the information regarding the litigation?
No, not litigation.
What record, so are there any records in the township regarding the
Well,
litigation?
litigation when it's complete, right, it would be subject to open public records, but I think as it's ongoing, it wouldn't be.
This is part of the township's ongoing affordable housing litigation.
So
But
there's
but to be clear, the ordinance
Is public record.
that we
can look it up.
approved to rezone this is public record, that's correct.
I think you have it in the packet.
Okay, so you're talking about ordinance 2019-20?
Right.
And so there
No,
has
we're
been...
not- we're
Last
talking
year.
20.
This ordinance is solely for the setback.
But we're amending 2019-20. Yeah.
219-20,
But the
correct.
ordinance we're talking about
That's
today.
the one You're
Correct.
talking about
Yes.
that you're amending with this ordinance?
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call?
Need a motion to approve?
We did.
No, it's just a roll call. Just introducing.
Introduce.
You do.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, both.
No, you're good.
That's a roll call.
Yeah, no, we already have first and second. That was comments from dais, comments from floor.
How about we just take a vote?
Right, thank you.
All right.
Mayor Mandel.
Yes.
Mayor Holmes.
Yes.
Mayor Hawley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaPlante.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Okay, moving on to ordinance 2020-02, an ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, repealing and replacing section 2216.1 entitled Smoking Prohibited of Article 2 entitled Township Owned Properties of Chapter 221 entitled Parks and Recreation Areas, with new section 2216.1 entitled Reserved, and amending Part 2 entitled General Legislation through the addition of Chapter 288 entitled Smoking on Certain Township-Owned Property of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Hillsborough. Further consideration of public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2020. This ordinance pertains to smoking on the municipal complex grounds and now includes not only regulations at parks and recreational facilities, but also all the entire municipal grounds. There is a designated smoking area here at the complex, and this ordinance is in line with potential enforcement. If a summons is issued to someone smoking anywhere on municipal complex grounds other than designated smoking areas, a $250 fine can be issued. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So move, Mayor?
Second.
Second, any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? I believe we have two individuals from our health department. If you guys like to say anything about this? No, you got to come up to the microphone. That's standard.
Sean, you gotta be a hero.
It just gives us the ability to collect the fine money too, so. And we have a lot of people that loiter around smoking after court or during court, so that's why we developed it.
This will allow us to be able to enforce
Yep.
fines on the property. Great.
Thank you.
I think creates a great health benefit and safety benefit.
Absolutely.
For our residents and employees.
And this will apply to Castle Park as well on our property, correct? Perfect. Okay, any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, a roll call?
Yes. Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaFontaine.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Moving on to 2020-03, an ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, repealing and replacing Section Article 2 entitled Recycling of Chapter 255 entitled Solid Waste of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Hillsborough with new Article 2 entitled Recycling. Further consideration and public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2020. This ordinance updates the recycling requirements and further encourages recycling within the Township of Hillsborough. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, great. Any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeewoman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaFontaine.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Moving on to 2020-04, an ordinance amending Chapter 61 of the Board of Health, Article 1, Board Established Membership of the Code of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey. Further consideration and public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2020. This ordinance increases membership of the Board of Health to include 2 alternate seats. Most of our boards do have that, so that'll help us ensure that we always have quorum. I have a motion to introduce this ordinance.
So moved.
Can I get one? Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais?
Mayor, just real quick, this is, it just makes a lot of sense. You know, there's, when you have a limited board with no alternates, sometimes it creates challenges for quorum, so it just makes sense to be able to have some alternate members, and we always have people willing to volunteer on our board, so I think it makes a lot of sense.
That is true. Any other comments from the dais? No? Any comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call?
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaFontaine.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Moving on to 2020-05, an ordinance amending the salary ordinance to include the position of technical assistant/UCC trainee and setting forth the salary. For the consideration of public hearing will be held on February 11th, 2020. May I have a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved, Mayor?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais?
I just had a quick one, Mayor. I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be the first in the state to do this with the billing department, letting an employee that's a technical assistant also go through the training and get that certification as an inspector as well. So it's actually in the code book, but Hillsborough's the first to take advantage of it. And as we say here, we continue to try to train and have our people move up, and this is a way to do that. So we're the first in the state to actually it's taken about a year to get through the state, to get through this process, understand it, and now we have an employee that's going to go through this training program, hours and hours, and at the end, she'll become an inspector, so.
Great.
Work well.
Thank you. Love being a trendsetter. Any other comments? Any comments from the floor? Please come up, state your name for the record, please.
Maria Janusik. I don't think that ordinance 2020-05 is included with the packet here. I have two.
Pam, I have the public package, it's not in there.
I have 04, and then I have resolutions. I don't have a copy of the...
Okay. We are just introducing it this evening. There will be time to public comment on February 11th, 2020 before we move to adopt, but we can make sure we get you a copy. We're already going to email you, so we can add that. We'll send that over to you.
There are copies here because it does, what?
I only have it electronically at the moment. I don't have a paper copy on my person.
All right,
Again,
so
it's
that'll be available for me at the...
February 11th.
At the office?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeewoman Holmes?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Malpani?
Yes.
That was in my mouth, I apologize. And Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Moving on to resolution, the consent agenda. Does anyone on the dais wish to take any items separately? Seeing none, a few items to note. Congratulations to Deb Boyer and to Dr. Chris Abrupta as being appointed to Chair of Environmental Commission and Sustainable Hillsborough respectively. They do great work on there, so I appreciate that. Is there anyone else who would like to have any comments? Anthony?
Just on, Mayor, on resolution number 8 with Kenneth Corman, starting as electrical inspector. We've had extreme success in bringing folks that have owned their own business. He comes with over 25 years of experience in owning his own company, so welcoming him aboard with great experience starting.
Great. Any other comments from the dais? I did just want to point out that we had a Boy Scout that really wanted to get involved with the township by the name of Brendan O'Kane and asked that he could serve on one of our boards and commissions. So very excited that he's going to be able to serve on open space, which is a great sustainable thing, which is in the Boy Scout Eagle Scout project. So happy to have him serving if you guys are so inclined to vote for him. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the above resolutions? Did we? No, first we motion to approve.
Motion. So moved.
Second?
Any comments from the dais? I did comments first, but comments from the dais, seeing none. Comments from the floor? Please come up, state your name for the record.
Maria Janusik. Consent number 3, the resolution approving the request from John Zankotovich, the release of development review escrow in the amount of $1,082.93. From what date is this application?
Looks like it's from 2007.
It appears that way, but based upon the application number.
Yep. Planning board application from 2007.
2007? Was this some kind of a development, or is this personal something?
It was his own property that he was looking to improve. Yeah, on Hamilton Road.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
It's on his own property on Hamilton Road.
He was just doing something on his own property on Hamilton Road?
That's correct.
And this application was from 2007?
It started.
Yes.
So it took like...
So it's pretty regular that escrow fees get collected at the time of an application and a construction starts, and then once all the elements have been achieved, if there's any balance to the escrow, it gets returned to the applicant. It's not unusual. It happens on every application.
He asked for several extensions, that's why it's from 2007.
Do you have information on what it was he had applied for?
You can see our planning board department.
I'm sorry, what?
You can see our planning department for that.
So you don't have that information?
You can see our planning department for that.
And it's not really, so the issue is the return of the escrow, not of the...
Okay. All right, consent number 8, the hiring of Kenneth Gorman. I believe the zoning officer is Patrick Gorman. Are they related?
Not to my knowledge, no.
I don't believe so.
No?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Is he replacing someone?
He's backfilling the person who's leaving.
He's replacing someone who...
Correct.
He's replacing the current electrical inspector.
That's correct.
And salary-wise, is this an increase?
No, it's by union, it's by white-collar union, that's the starting salary.
Okay.
Not negotiable.
Okay. And consent number 10, resolution establishing the annual salaries and wages of municipal employees. Has each of these employees received an increase this year?
I believe yes, because these are mostly contractual raises.
So each of these people have received an increase this year?
Yes.
Okay. And what is that based on? Is that just automatic every year increases, or is that based on performance? What warrants increases every year?
Yes to both things you said. There's some that are performance-based and others are part of contract. Anthony, I don't know if you want to add anything
Yes,
to
so the
that?
majority of those are union contracts. So those are white collar, which are most of our employees here in the building, and blue collar, which is our employees in DPW. And the non-management team has appraisals.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing.
Which one didn't you hear?
Towards the end of what you were saying.
No. So we'll say it again. So blue collar is over across the road, which is DPW, under contracts. They get a raise every year per their contract. White collar are mostly the folks here in this building per contract. And our non-management, or our non-union people, which are management, have goals, objectives, and accomplishments, and they get ranked as well to get that increase.
So there are some people here on this, both pages of this list, who have a contract with Hillsborough?
Correct.
Most people.
I would say the
Most.
majority, almost
Yeah.
all the employees
The
are.
majority of these people have a contract.
It's union contract.
Yeah, it's either white collar, blue collar, or non-management. So if they're non-management, they wouldn't be under a union contract. So any of the managers, so managers, assistant managers, deputies, office staff here in the administration are non-managers, non-union.
Or what, non-union? So
Correct.
that's, then what are the increases based on?
Performance.
Based on performance?
Correct.
And who,
We have a personnel committee and as well as Administrator Ferrero.
Right. They have department heads and they have goals and objectives
and so,
and appraisals.
so where's the information regarding who has a contract and based on their contract, they're getting increases?
Maria, I believe just, Mayor, sorry, that
No,
you've asked
please.
this question every time there's a salary adjustment. We understand that you want to know these things, but sometimes, these are just township regulations that we do on a normal basis, and every single time you ask the same question. So they're going to give you the same answers. It's done contractually. If you want to see our contracts for the blue-collar workers, white-collar workers, they're public record also.
Okay.
Just to be clear, the contracts are public record, but personnel records are not. So, we don't share evaluations nor objectives and rankings.
Yeah, the contracts you can go look up online and.
I understand, and I don't want personal information. I'm just asking how these increases are determined. So
And I
some
think
of the
we answered
people
that
here-
for you.
So some of the people, excuse me?
I think we answered that for you.
So some of these people are part of the union, and so their increases are based on the contract?
Yes,
And then there's the people who are not union, and those are based on performance?
yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from the floor? All right, seeing none, roll call?
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hall?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Abstain?
Committee Deputy Mayor Lapani?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Moving on to claims list this evening, 2019-35. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
To approve. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. Comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor?
Yes.
Committeewoman Hall?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lapani?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Next motion is to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.